Greetings, everyone. My name is Samuel Buissereth, and I am honored today to be able to be with all of you here, our NAAHP subscribers and audience, and those who follow us on all platforms. Welcome. It's great to be here. I'm one of the marketing managers here at the National Alliance for the Advancement of Haitian Professionals, and we're excited. Hopefully, you all are enjoying the World Cup. You all are enjoying the games, the festivities, and all things that are celebrating our amazing people and culture and country. And we do have with us today a special treat. One of our amazing partners here in the community. We're excited because they are not only partners, but good people and friends. And I'm honored to introduce to you all a few of the members of the Level X panelists that are here today. We'll get to meet the CEO himself and some of his colleagues, so we're excited. I think one of the things that's fun about these types of conversations is that we get to look a little bit more into the inside scoop of what they are doing and what they are about, learn more about their background and what they have been able to do across their life and their business, and also what they have accomplished for the community. The list is long. However, we're going to try our best to keep it in a nice session for you all today. Our conversation is going to show up in a critical time, not only in the community, but across the nation of the United States. Some of you have been following the news about some of the decisions that the government has made around this TPS program. So for our treat today, we're going to take some time and learn more about how we should respond and how we should handle or even deal with some of these strategic moves that our community can do, that you as a leader can do, and be able to handle crisis and communication, organization, growth, and even a little bit of entrepreneurship through these moments. And so we're excited for who we have here today. We have Mr. Julbert Abraham, Dr. Vanessa. We also have Dr. And so we're excited for what they bring to the table. And if you could spend some time, we'll start off with James, and then he'll introduce the rest of the crew. Just share with the community a little bit about what not only you do, and what part do you play in the Level X community.
Thank you so much, Samuel. Appreciate you, my friend. Always good to see you. Thank you to the entire NAAHP family for being an ardent supporter for this program. Basically, we've been working with NAAHP since we had the conference here in Atlanta. I think it was like 2 years ago. And since then, the relationship been doing very well. And they have supported us throughout the years in our own conference and our own work, which has been very great to see that we have Haitian professional organizations that are actually supporting Haitian growth as we do at Level X. In case someone may be watching us the first time, Level X is pretty much a training and coaching company that helps entrepreneurs and professionals to go to that next level. The whole premise is we believe wherever you are today, that God is not done with you, that you have way more that you are capable of. There's way more you can do. You are meant for so much more. And so now our job is not just to tell you that you can do more, but to show you how, right? Give you the how, right? So that you get the step by step. So that's what we do at Level X. And usually we do a lot of work throughout the year, and everything normally culminates into a conference that we have, and we call it the Step and Higher Together conference on June. Now, this year, we had a little bit of hiccup because of what's going on in June. It was the World Cup, and Haiti was coming to Atlanta, and wisely, we decided, we do not want to compete, because normally our conference always comes in on June, the weekend of June 19th, because usually Juneteenth is like the time we call it the Black Liberation. So we like to keep our conference on that week. A little nudge of saying that in order for us to become free, we must be able to build businesses, we must be able to manage money and create wealth. So this year we couldn't do it because, again, Haiti was playing right around there. So that's why we moved it to July. But then, unfortunately, we had to postpone the conference this year after we get the terrible news of the Haitian CPS elimination and realizing that so many of our entrepreneurs, so many of our sponsors, so many of our staff members were indeed CPS holders whose lives now are just in a mess. And we felt like giving the whole model about level is stepping higher together. So we felt, look, this year, if we proceed, it be stepping higher, but the together will be missing because so many of our people can't drive to make it. So many of our people can't fly to make it, or nor do they are in the mindset to even be in that festivity. So we have decided, as we get together with the team, to pretty much postpone this and really stand with our people. So these two you have here with us is we have Julbert and Vanessa. I'm sure they'll be telling more about themselves. So they were amazing panelists, speakers who were about to really share some many amazing knowledge with our community through the conference. So I'm so grateful for the service, their work, and their professionalism. And so now we'll wait for next year to run it over. But we thought we'd be here to share with you again what's happening in the moment. So I'll pass it to Julbert, and then we get to Vanessa. They get to present themselves, and we'll take it from there. Good to see you again, my friend.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Samuel and Dr. James. Appreciate you guys. Just excited to be here. Excited to share any tips or any added value that can benefit the community. I'm an entrepreneur, been an entrepreneur for 10 plus years. Fait Haiti, Kafu, Sinek Kafumier, and I came to the States when I was younger. So it's sad to see what's going on now. But if I can share anything that can benefit the community, I'm here for that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, thanks for having me. I'm Vanessa Dessieu. I serve right now as Chief Strategic Officer for the Executor and Associates. So we are an advisory team that helps organizations and public figures navigate high-stakes situations and moments, strategic communications, crisis management, positioning as well, and overall manage all your reputational strategy. My background is actually in international development and public health. So a lot of time people are like, how did you transition from that to this? It's a long story and one that I won't share today, I promise.
If you want to share, Samuel will be here to listen, okay?
I'll share, Samuel. I'm more than happy to share. But now, in a nutshell, I handle strategic communication, crisis management, work with public figures overall, managing their reputations and overall themselves. So I'm happy to be here and also happy to share my expertise, my knowledge to be of service to my community, especially in this moment. Dr. James said, like right now, even if we were to step higher, like those of us that can, I don't think we could step that high if everyone else or many around us are not at the mental and physical and capacity to do so. Again, I'm happy to be here and happy to be of service.
We have a stellar cast here, so I'm excited. One of the biggest questions in the room that I've been asked in our community a lot lately, so I would love your commentary on this, is when a community is facing fear, uncertainty, and rapid changing circumstances, what is the first responsibility of a leader? I think all of you have leadership expertise and experience, so we're just curious. What's the first responsibility of someone who is in charge when they have those types of things that show up?
That's great.
I almost feel like it's one of those where, Vanessa, what would you have done?
That's a good one.
Thank you for filling.
From experience, I know for sure I can tell you first is to assess the situation, to take control and acknowledge it. So the first responsibility that we have in this is to acknowledge this is the situation. Now, the next thing is to assess it, assess the risk that comes with it and your current situation, because we all may be in the same storm, but we're not in the same type of boat. So our situation differs from one to another. So it's to do that self-assessment of what is it for me or how am I looking? And then we can open it to the broader overall and then how we're going to proceed from there. And I always also say, when making these kind of decisions or when doing these assessments, to not do it for just the moment. One thing that I've learned is it's emotional. Anytime you are in a crisis, it is personal to you, except the person managing the crisis. And that's why it's always good to not be, for example, they tell you straight up, family members can't operate on family members. It's because it becomes emotional. You become shaky, too much going on for you to be able to do your best, really, because the stakes are high for you. For now is to remain calm, get the factual information, not things that are based on emotion. I know it's hard to step back and assess at times because it is personal, but to at least try as best and as much as possible. So take a breather,
Wow.
assess, and then make longer term plans versus short-term ones, because the short-term ones are usually emotional.
Yeah, I
That's
definitely
good.
want.
Thank you. Julbert, would you have anything to add to this? This is good. Thank you.
I think she hit it right in the park when she said not making emotional decisions because it's not always the best one. But I also think that in those times, what would be always good is to do like a pros and cons type of plan. I know for us, whenever we're doing a big decision, we got to look at, okay, what are the pros and cons? Because there's always positive that sometimes we don't see because of our emotions, and the cons as well. So if you can sit down for a few minutes once you take a breather and create a pros and cons, what we call a Venn diagram, you may say, where you're like, okay, what are some of the pros of this that I'm not even paying attention to right now? What are some of the cons to it? And then that will help in the process of making the long-term decisions.
Wow. No, that's good. That's important. And I have to ask you, James, what would you feel is a good responsibility for a leader during these types of circumstances?
I think they already answered it, man. She really mentioned those three key things, which is keep your poise. As leaders, you want to always have poise. You always want to be calm. It's not time to overly reacting. So we want to be calm. That's number one. Assessing the situation to see exactly what's going on, especially as we are dealing with adversary that is very thoughtful, that have a clear strategy. So we can't just be reacting to this one off. We need to assess this to say, okay, well, you know what, let us see what's happening. And lastly, is to really have a long-term strategy. And like we do in business, strategy is about being 3 or 4 or 5 move ahead of your opponent. Meaning you anticipate what is the next place they're going to strike, what is the next move they're going to make, and you want to stay 2 or 3 steps ahead of that. And this is usually one of the where we struggle as a community associations. We have a lot of passions and we can get reactive and moment of excitement. But in terms of cooling down and think strategically for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 moves, the next 5, 10 years, in order for us to match what's coming and be able to better prepare, we normally struggle with that. I think, like she said, is to remain calm, get very clear, good clarity as to what's happening, why it's happening, what's the plan they're working on, so that we can come with a strategy that is long term on how do we really counter this.
Thank you. So now I see the pattern that will build the success platform for a good response with leaders. Maybe a follow-up question for you, and this could be any of you, is what is the difference between reacting emotionally and responding strategically? You all said some key words around the emotional part of responding as a leader and then having strategy. So what is the difference between reacting emotionally and responding strategically?
All right.
For
James, you
me,
want to go?
I go ahead, James.
No, I'll go, but you can go.
For me, it comes down to doing that preliminary work. Do you understand what's going on? Do you need clarity on that? And look, strategy. It can't be short term. It has to be long term. when I get a client, or when I used to do a lot more negotiations, like crisis negotiations, I always tell people I hated the word of crisis management. Management to me is reactive. You're managing something that's happening. I always said that I prefer crisis governance, because now you're taking charge. You are taking lead on what's happening. Often we say it, but we don't always put it in practice. Life is 10% what happens and 90% of how you react to it. So if you're managing, you're just doing day to day. You do not have the time to be strategic, because you're just handling things as they come. You're just managing. But if you're taking the charge, if you're governing whatever crisis that it is, that's different, because you are now setting the standard. You are flipping the situation.
Mhm.
So
And
to me, that's the
Yeah.
difference.
No, I think you spot on, Vanessa. The key word I would add there is structure. Okay, structure. Reactions is, you know what, it comes on. We react, we take actions, but there is no real coordination. There is no blueprint. There is no structure that's going to give a very specific result. We're just trying to react and fight. But what we want to do, and that at the World Cup, if you see that at the World Cup, the one thing I noticed is when we went to the Haiti game with Morocco, you could see our fans, we had passion. We were excited. It was overwhelming, the passion, the excitement, right? But one thing I noticed, it was like everyone doing their own thing. You hit this music start there, and then you hit this kind of chant goes there. It was just all over. Morocco differently was very structured. They have very certain point where they all were following certain rhythms and they all were doing certain things. So you can see there was a clear structure that was leading to very specific results. And so I think as a nation, as a country, it is, and you could tell it took time for them to build this. You could tell it wasn't the first time. You could tell it's something that was practiced, something they follow a blueprint, because everybody, the wave was coming very consistently in a very shape. The team was knowing it. You could see they were moving their energy at their own pace, which is what she refers as governance, meaning that we have a national blueprint. I just feel like we as Haitians, we don't have a blueprint, a national blueprint, something that says, look, okay, we've been dealing with this TPS situation for a while. We've been dealing with immigration for a while. It's always been a wave of, we're going to cancel it. And well, we thought it's going to be canceled. We get all excited. It didn't get canceled. We went back to life again.
Yep, and we forget about it.
Yeah, it comes back again. Oh, we get excited. Now we're waiting to see what's going to happen in July 20th. And if they say, oh, let's give it for December, we all go back to chilling again. So
Yeah, that's true.
it's always these reactions versus, oh, you know what? Let us build a structure so that immigrations no longer become a problem for us in the United States. What is it that we need to do in Haiti so that this is no longer a problem for us? What is it we need to do in the US? How do we need to organize ourselves? What do we need to create? What sacrifice do we need to make in the long term so that 5 years from now, 7 years from now, 10 years from now, that immigration situation is no longer a problem for us simply because we have overcome it? And this is kind of conversation.
I think you guys, it's really being, I think Vanessa and Dr. James said it, it's being proactive. So let's talk more about that, right? So how do we do that now in the US as leaders? What do we need to put in place? Because we're a very passionate nation, so we get excited if things go back to normal and everybody forget about it. So what can we provide to people now so that they can be better prepared? I know in my case, one thing that we're doing is we have a staffing company and we have remote talent overseas. So we're starting to do more recruiting in Haiti, where we can position some of those talent to work with people in the US. So if something like that kind of end up going the other way, is now we have more talent in Haiti and we have better structure there, so we can help some of these people that has to go back to Haiti be able to still work with people in the US without being in the US. So I'm curious to hear, what can we do more of selves to be more proactive as leaders, so that if something like that go out of hand, we know we're doing our part.
if you look, because sometimes we don't have to create something new, we can look at models that are working. If you look
Yeah.
at, for example, we look at the Indians or we look at the Pakistanis, the model is usually they work very deeply into the oil sector, gas stations and shops, right? And I was surprised one time I had a client who come to me and he had 3 gas stations. Each one of them was grossing over $2.5 million a year. But here's the thing, this guy did not know. Now, we were doing paper transactions, and he says, Mr. James, you know that I don't know how to read and write.
Wow. Wow.
Now, imagine this, a man who does not know how to read and write in his own language, can't speak English, owns 3 gas stations that are grossing 2.5 million a piece. How did he get there? It wasn't because of his talent or his skills. The
Yeah.
blueprint was they come in, they put money together, they have a group of 5, and they buy 1 gas station. Then they work again. Then they keep moving over until every one person has 1 gas station. And then once everybody have one, they use the money again to do another one. So now, as they coming in, there is gas stations that are available for every one of them. They just get into plug into the system, give it a couple of years, they become owners of that station, creating their own path to financial freedom. You take the Chinese, they come in, they own all the salon, the hair, the nails, and everything else. When somebody come in and they have just this little temporary papers, they come in, they work, and they be part of it, and then eventually they moved on. But they actually own the salon. So even when they go back to China, they still own 2, 3, 4 salons in the US and having money coming in back and forth. So really, those are models we have to say to ourselves. When a Haitian person comes in, what are the options that we have created? When we have a young person who's talented in Haiti, what are the
Yeah.
options we have created? Well said. Can you imagine thousands of business owners we have in the US, instead of using VAs everywhere or hiring Americans to do certain works, that we would actually use VAs in Haiti to do our billing, our technology, our posting, our following up. Or imagine the amount of money that will be sent while we're getting high
Yeah.
value in there. So I think it's about really thinking it through and see what model we have based on our skills, assessing what we have, and really create something that we can have control of. It's a blueprint that can happen in Miami, it can happen in New York, we can copy it over and over.
Everywhere.
What do I say? As a community, we need one thing, at least, at the very least, that we want to be known for.
Yeah.
What do we as a community want to be known for?
Or
At the
own.
very, at least, yes. Anytime. Because just like you'll meet on étranger and you said, I'm Haitian. And they said, I've had Julie John. Or I've had Leo.
Or this compa.
Or I know compa. Or I dance compa. Or our music is close or similar. But when we are outside of home, regardless of where we are, what's one thing at the very least? And I'm not saying it has to be only one that we want to be known for. And I think that's something that as leaders, we owe at least to this generation, to the past ones who weren't able to do it, to do a clear identity. What is our identity? What do we want to be known for here? And the minute that we can pinpoint that and do that, outside the perception that you're projecting, outside is going to look at you different. And there are things that they will not do with you or to you because now there's a standard. There are certain things like, I know not to cross you this way. This is what you're incontournable in this sector. So we need them. You're indispensable.
This is good. It's reminding me of a term I learned a few years ago of a little bit of organizational paralysis, where there is a lack of confidence, maybe even the way we interact with community members, staff, clients, and customers. a little bit of organizational paralysis when we would like to make sure that's something that we are giving or providing to the community, to the neighborhood, to the society at large, and we are unsure or unstable of what that looks like. And so therefore we lock up, go into hiding, and now there becomes this lack of that you are talking about, Vanessa. And it's speaking volumes to me right now. Wow.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
I personally, I always tell people, I like humility. I like humble people. And I don't think there are many qualities that are as good. With that said, being humble or not being cocky doesn't mean that you don't have somewhere that you stand for. It is not okay to stand tall and stand firm. And I think over the years, or maybe it's to blend in, we have learned as a community to keep our heads down and mind our business. Not that I'm saying not to, but mind our business. Vive TV, be in a corner, be quiet, don't look up, don't stare, don't do this, don't do that. So they won't know that you're here and you will not be bothered. Unfortunately, the world is not that nice. So your quietness is often mistaken for weakness. Your quietness is often mistaken for not being intelligent. And that's one thing though that cocky people, and a lot of time not the most knowledgeable people, use. They're the loudest. Okay. They never be quiet. They talk and they tell their nonsense to whomever wants to hear it, or even to those who do not want to hear it. They are going to share their nonsense.
They build their own narrative.
Correct. They're building and they're sticking to that story. Truth or not, they're sticking.
We should know some people who does that very well.
Unfortunately, that though they're the one who get either the recognition or who are known and stuff like that. So it is something also, I think, as a community. And if we want to be like leaders and if we're leading 1, 2, 3, I don't care how many people, you'll know that you made one change, is to, again, goes back to that identity. This is who I am. This is who I want to be known for. And I will not let you get the wrong perception, or I will make sure that I own my narrative, that I am projecting in the right perception, in making sure that we're known in the community as a community of X.
So, Julbert, I guess I would like to have you provide a follow-up to this, because what type of habits do you think help a leader make better decisions, especially under pressure, right? When there's a timeline and there's something to accomplish, and now you are trying to take initiative. Where do you see the types of habits that would help a leader make better decisions under pressure?
So I can say, for example, what I do, I work with people all over the world. Sometimes I have to make decisions that doesn't just impact them, but they impact the whole family. Right. And some of the habits that have helped me, it's more, I normally wake up early. I go to sleep at a certain time around 10, 11. I wake up early around 5, 6. I work out, I pray, I meditate. So I create those morning routine to help me be in a different state of mind. And also when it comes to making tough decisions, I don't like to make them right away. I like to step back a little bit, because sometimes you're too close to what you're doing and you can't see the full picture. I wanted to hold down a little bit and really think about what I'm doing before I make that decision. And that has been super helpful to me over the years from being an entrepreneur. So I think for any leaders, because we're so emotional, we're so passionate, it might make sense to just, okay, let me take a breather here. Let me step back a little bit. Let me analyze what's the bigger picture that's going on here. And then that can help us make a better decision that's not only impacting short term, but also long term as well.
But what you said, which is very important, is to have this clarity. You want that clarity. And because, again, you can't make good decisions if you don't have clarity. Just to be in a mindset to be very clear, to get a clear understanding of what's at stake, to be able to decide priorities and really evaluate. I think really that's really key. These things that are really important. How about you, Vanessa?
No, I think you guys really nailed it on both ends. But one thing though that I would add is the habit, or two things actually. One, the habit of surrounding with people who will challenge you. I know a lot of time as a leader, it might feel personal, but I think, and I've seen that it is a good habit. People who will question even your best decisions. Hey, have you, that will make you think again, okay, am I making the best decision at this moment? So they challenge you, they challenge your thoughts, and healthy, obviously, challenges. And the other one is to be able to separate facts and opinions. A lot of time they come in and they look the same. Especially as a leader, you're getting all type of backs and sound and voices are coming from everywhere. So discernment to be able to separate what's factual and what's an opinion, because every decision that you make has consequences. So that will allow you to be able to live with those consequences later on, because we're not going back to the same take on it, or I could have done better, or it wasn't as wise and stuff. So yeah, the ability to separate those two.
Now, I'm learning a lot, so don't mind me. I'm trying to take notes at the same time. Maybe I'll phrase the question this way, because maybe there's a little bit of a learning curve when we talk about strategic communication or providing information to the community so that they know exactly what to do, that your team members are prepared, have the resources, and know your course of action as a whole, as a team. What should these entities do to prioritize information first? What should nonprofits do? What should Chamber of Commerce's do? What professional organizations do, or even churches? What should they prioritize first when it's time to communicate to your constituents, your clients, or your people that, hey, this is important. It's not our ideal news that we were looking for, but here is how we get on the same page. What do these types of entities latch onto to make sure that the information gets shared across quickly and effectively and precisely?
That's a Vanessa question.
For me, first thing of order is to be able to step back and identify one lead. I think one thing that I've seen that we're missing is the coordination. Everybody is doing, or all type of groups and entities are doing standalone things. And we're forgetting that we have one thing in common. At least, at the very least, we're all Haitian and we're all impacted one way or another, directly or indirectly. I don't care if you were born here, have your paperworks and everything else. I don't care. We're all one Haitian nation. So that's the first thing. So let's use that and identify one person. I don't care which church you come from, which community, which state, it doesn't matter. You need one united front. If you want to be taken seriously, you have to show a united front. If we're not able to do that, and all those voices and everybody's talking and doing their own things, it's chaos. No one is going to take you serious in the middle of a chaos. So right now, the first thing is to identify that we have one person who's going to be the voice for this. All and any other strategy will come within the group. If we want to have a core group or a working group, I don't care what it is. But once we step out, we know one person is going to communicate whatever it is that we discussed as the people. And until we do that, we're just going to keep looking chaotic.
That's good. That's good. Did any of you gentlemen wanted to add on that? Great.
No, that was perfect. That was perfect.
No, that's good. I think that's important. The united front hits home because we talk a lot about union, right? We talk a lot about unité. We talk a lot about mais un pile chay pa loup, doit pas manger calalou.
But not in practice.
But not in practice.
If I can say one thing, I think question qui est toujours important, the key question that we never ask is for those things to be true. United we strong. Don't sell the manger kalal. We never ask the question as to what sacrifice that we have to be willing to make in order for that to happen. And this is where we always messed up, because nothing happens without a sacrifice. There's always going to be a sacrifice to be made. United we strong. Somebody have to sacrifice this amazing idea that they have, that they think that's what's going to work, and say, oh no, yeah, maybe it's a great idea, but because for us to be united, the group is going with this idea, I'm going to support this idea, let's go with it. Hey, you know what? Yes, this is hurting my ego, but the sacrifice. We always want to achieve a lot, but with everything close in our hands. My ideas, my positions, always got to be, and this is where we always struggle. So I think it's really required. Every dream, every passion requires a sacrifice. And until we can identify it and be willing to do it, when we talk about 180, when we say, because today, for example, today, let me give an example. Today, the TPS people are having papers issues. They're facing deportation, but they cannot go and rally for themselves. They can't. They can't go fight for themselves. So now you got to ask yourself your question: I have a U.S. citizenship. Am I willing to sacrifice this to get on the street? Maybe getting arrested, maybe getting put in jail, maybe getting a record. Am I willing to make the sacrifice for this one united Haitian? And most of us is like, oh, it will require this. Okay. The Christian will say, we're going to be praying for them. The non-Christian will say, oh, everybody will find a way to say it's not my business because the sacrifice is too much. But if you look at what we've accomplished, Martin Luther King was willing to die for the freedom we want. Dessalines and Toussaint Louverture were willing to die for the freedom that we enjoy today. Every big thing that is made, that is created, every big movement we made, somebody was willing to sacrifice, and sometimes their lives, their children, their family, their own comfort to accomplish it. And then
now, because you said that, something else came to mind, right? For that type of sacrifice to happen, there needs to be a backer, like a financial backer in this way, right? Because sometimes the person that's the best to make that type of sacrifice is unable to do it because nobody is backing them financially. So if we as a people start looking at, okay, how do we back somebody financially where they can actually make that type of sacrifice? Maybe we can have that united front.
I agree, but again, this is what I'm saying here. Even as we speak right now, okay, we have to ask the questions. I'm a Haitian person. I am working. My bill is tight, but am I willing to take 10% of my salary right now? And if you're a person who's not working, we need to do aviation, say, look, we know you can work, but I'm sacrificing 10% of my salary to help you support. Oh, I know you can't drive anymore. I'm giving 2 hours that I already don't have out of my busy schedule to pick you up and drop you to the gas station to pick up something you may want for your kid. Take you to a medical. Are we willing to make those sacrifices? Do we have that consciousness of what is required to manifest this united? But the reason why it's not working is not coincidence. It's because we never really sit down to say, what will it take for that to manifest? What am I willing to give up?
And it goes back again to that humility. Am I willing to lose? Am I willing to be the smaller person? Am I willing to be invisible for the greater good?
Wow,
Yeah.
this is good.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that, and you gave a great list, James, about some of the contributions that small entities and small organizations would be able to do. I think what's coming to mind is that when you are thinking of something to collaborate on, there's no need to duplicate, right? There's no need to say, we'll have our version of, or we'll have our way of doing things because it matches our style. Meanwhile, the greater good, the greater community is suffering only because we, like Vanessa said, we didn't take the time to humble ourselves and say, this is where I can contribute in a meaningful way. We refuse to divide the responsibilities, and we refuse to look at things from a humble perspective. Now, question for you, I think this will be our last question because we're just about out of time, is how should, or if there should be a table that you would ideally want the people involved to be there at this table to get things done, to work on the momentum so that it doesn't fade, and to react in a meaningful way. What type of people should be at this table to get things done during this moment of crisis? Who would you ideally want to be at this table to get things done?
I want to answer this one first.
Whoa. You take it, girl. She's been
Go
so
for it.
live.
It's like I so wanted you to ask. I want people who are willing to serve. I don't need experts right now. Not that I'm saying they're not useful. I don't think that's the issue that we're having. We have plenty of knowledgeable people. We have plenty of experts. We have plenty of all the validations or credentials. We're not lacking in that in our community. I remember once checking that 84% of Haitians who've moved here have at least a college degree. So I don't think we're lacking the credentials. But what we're lacking is the want to serve. How do I best serve? In what capacity am I needed? And it may not be what you, the expert in, or what, but that's what this situation requires. That's what right now, that's the spot that we need to get the needle moving. So how can I best serve? So what I would think that we need is the people who are looking to serve, to be of service, that can be molded into what's needed.
That's powerful. James, go right ahead.
No, I love it. I think she nailed it. I think it goes back to the concept of community first. Community first. Okay. Community first.
Julbert, did you want to add to the response?
I think that's what we need. And sometimes I think we just have to groom those people within our community, like James said. Because we all came here for our own reason, but if we don't have the people that's groomed to serve, we'll never get to where we want to be.
Oh my, we could go on, and who knows, we might have to have a part 2. But I just wanted to say thank you. I think the information that you all have shared during this time is critical. Those of you who are tuning in, please take these actionable items and get involved. I know there are a few community awareness activities wherever you are located in the larger cities where there's a larger and denser population of us Haitians. And yes, like you hear the call to action from all 3 of them is get involved. And directly from Dr. Vanessa is people who are willing to serve should be at this table. One of the most important things that we can do is when we're willing to be that person that is willing to sacrifice, whether it be their budget or their time or their resources. You'd be surprised how many of us we're at the doorstep of success, and we just needed someone to just reach out and twist the doorknob, and it gave us access to something that we so desperately needed in our lives. And so I think that now that you have been in a position of success or influence, or just not where you were before, you now have that opportunity to reach back and help someone elevate to a new level. So level X, right? I want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of you who took the time to join us and have a great conversation around not only TPS, but how leaders can respond. I think these are some really good nuggets that you provided. P is so excited about what Level X and you all as panelists mean to us. So thank you. Thank you for everyone who's been watching, and don't allow fear to isolate you, right? Oftentimes we can get caught up in being scared of the circumstances, but have confidence, build those connections, surround yourself with like-minded people, stay informed, stay relevant, get involved, and right? That's the quote.
That's it.
And so on behalf of NAAHP and all of you here, James, Vanessa, Julbert, thank you for joining us this day.
Thank you.
Also on behalf of Level X, thank you so much, Samuel, Molina, the entire NAAHP team. Thank you for being such a strong collaborator and supporter with the Level X movement. Again, we didn't get too well together this year, but I promise 2027 we will be back. And also on July 31st, we're going to dedicate that day as a Community Kindness Day. We encourage everyone to find someone who is a TPS holder, find somebody who does not have papers. Hey, give them something, take them somewhere, support them, pray with them, whatever you can do. Let's make that day a day where we thoughtfully move toward these people and show them that they're not alone in this fight, that we're with them. So I want to say big thank you to NAAHP for always modeling this concept of united, we are stronger. So we are so grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.